All right, everybody, you get my cry for help first thing in the morning today. Um, so I am familiar with the Pathfinder universe because I've played the Owlcat games, and I have known about Pathfinder for many, many years. But I've always been firmly implanted in the Dungeons and Dragons world because I grew up on Forgotten Realms and Dragonlance, and those franchises have meant a lot to me over the years. Getting into tabletop development and game development overall, MMORPG development, and so on and so forth over the last 8 9 years now, my tastes have changed, and I have become aware of a much wider world out there. And now, my knowledge with Pathfinder and Starfinder begins and ends with the two video games that I've played from Owlcat, as far as the lore settings go and everything else. The rules I kind of understand because they're D20 and it's a D20 system, and I've played those games, so I understand the general idea of the rules as they exist today. Obviously, that's going to be changing with the open RPG license that's being developed right now. But as it stands, I'm torn, and this is where I need your help because you guys out there have been really cool about talking more about this kind of stuff. I don't know whether or not I want to start with Pathfinder or Starfinder, and I need some help in guiding me to make that decision because I have played primarily in fantasy worlds for the last my whole life. I'll be 43 on the 16th of January, so really close to my 43rd birthday. The only time I've ever played a science fiction RPG was in the late 90s, mid late 90s, around the Star Wars D6 one from I don't even remember the name of the company now, but the Star Wars RPG one that was built around the extended universe with Timothy Zahn's um, Thrawn novels and everything. Anyway, I digress. I don't know enough about the Starfinder universe. I know nothing about the Starfinder universe, to be honest with you. And the Pathfinder universe, I only know a tiny little bit as what's been presented to me through video games. The rule sets are less important to me than the lore. So here is my request in this video. Where do I start? Like, where do I start with Pathfinder? Or where do I start with, with Starfinder? Like, where are some good resources apart from like a wiki, and maybe the wiki is the best place. That's why I'm asking you, the community. Where's a good place to start? Because I really would like to find out what I want to do this summer or maybe even this spring for tabletop. I'm leaning towards wanting to do something science fictiony. Now, Starfinder sounds like it might be a great place to do that, but I know nothing about the lore of the world or anything like that. So, anybody out there that has a place where I can go, where I can look up the lore and everything else, that'd be great. And I realize that there's been a ton of books that have been published on this, but I'm coming in this as a complete newbie. So I just don't know the order of which I should be looking at things. Like, what is the order that's going to help me establish, the backstory and all the main characters and the factions and etc. Is it going to be the source book or somewhere else? Is it going to be through a series of adventure guides? I understand, and this is where things get really confusing to me. Oh, and by the way, the same question applies to Pathfinder. Like, this is not only about Starfinder. This is Pathfinder and Starfinder. I need to know where to start because, again, the rules are less important to me than the setting and the world and the lore and everything else. Because um, I've done fantasy out the wazoo. I'm building my own fantasy world. This is the second one we've done. Our tabletop world's already out. We have the point and click coming. The first novel's almost done. Like, I've done fantasy to death. Um, so I kind of understand how fantasy works. Sci-fi, a little bit less in terms of tabletop stuff, but I need to be able to make a decision about where I'm investing my time this year, whether it's Pathfinder or Starfinder, in terms of playing as a player. I already know that we're going to be focused on the upcoming open RPG system that's being developed with Paizo and all the other parties involved. So that's why the rules are less important to me. It's mostly just help me get up to speed on the setting. But the other thing that's really confusing to me is like if I come to the website and I start scrolling down, and obviously there's a beginner box, great. Core rulebook, great. There's all these things that I can click on, and then I come down here and there's character builders, sound apps, online content marketplace for publishers to sell their own adventures. There's a FAQ, there's a forums. Then we get down in here like these adventures and these adventure paths and Starfinder scenarios. And I'm like trying to read through all these, and I'm like, what is the difference between all of these different things? It gives you a brief example. Starfinder adventures are standalone adventures. Adventure paths are bigger adventures, maybe? And Starfinder scenarios are one-offs, so one shot. Okay. So that kind of helps me understand that. But what I really want to know is what are the here we go, Starfinder rule books. Like there's so many rule books though too, like which ones are the right ones to start with? And really before I buy rule books, I would like to know which is the world that I'm going to be wanting to spend my time in. Is it going to be Pathfinder or Starfinder? I'll tell you that right off the bat. My gut reaction is to just jump into Pathfinder because it's a fantasy world and I know I'll be able to quickly get up to speed on things in terms of the lore because I've already played a couple of video games set in the universe. Whereas with Starfinder, I'm coming in completely blind and I know nothing. So this is a plea, a cry for help. Help me understand where to start. Because if you go down here and like the Pathfinder one obviously has a lot more resources here. Pathfinder Nexus. Explore this product in a digital reader and compendium during early access of Paizo's official digital toolset, Pathfinder Nexus. Let's open that up in a new window. I don't even know what that is. Pathfinder Adventures. Let's look at rulebooks. More Pathfinder rulebooks. Like, welcome to the Pathfinder Nexus. This is an app. Okay. This is a digital toolset for Pathfinder. It's on the way. Create an account to get into early access with the digital reader and game compendium, or sign up to enter the closed alpha for character tools now. Okay. That all sounds interesting. Okay. Well, I need to dig into that more because I don't even know what that is. Well, let's go back to the rule books. Like, it says here there's 46 products to even look at. And it's like, Rage of the Elements, is that a, this is my confusion. Is this an adventure module? Is it the latest campaign module? Is it an adventure pack? Is it a standalone? Like, what's what here? Um, all products. Obviously, you have the core rulebook, but I'd love to know more. So anyway, this is me saying to all of you who are watching, first and foremost, can you give me some links? Point me in the direction. By the way, if YouTube won't let you give links because it does nuke links, feel free to just DM me directly on Discord and just send me stuff. You can also join our Discord channel and drop links in the general chat, but sometimes that's wonky for new users. So it's better just to hit me up on Discord, DM me directly, and I'll read from there. But I want to know more. I need to know where to start. And beyond that, here's the next cry for help. I have been DMing for a very long time. I have not had the opportunity to be a player in a very long time. I would love to be a player this year, if that's possible. So, the next question I have for the Pathfinder and Starfinder worlds are, do you guys just use the forums to find groups? Is it like, because like I've used Roll20 a couple of times, and they have a forum where you can like try to meet people to form groups and everything else. Is that where people are finding groups to form up for Starfinder and Pathfinder? Does that happen on the official forums for Paizo? Where is this happening? Is there an official Discord server? Like I'm just getting into Paizo and Pathfinder and Starfinder because of the announcements surrounding the OGL 1.1, and that was my decision to completely switch over. Like I said, I've been firmly entrenched in the Wizards of the Coast camp for a long time. I still love those worlds and those franchises, and I love Second Edition AD&D. I liked Fifth Edition, but just the political climate being what it is and the policies that they're enacting and the way they're treating people, I can't, I would like to try something new. Plus I'm getting older. It's like it's time to try new things. So especially now that, I want to be a part of and I plan on being there in the discussion as the, open RPG unfolds because we're going to be revamping our entire source book and product line to be with that system. I would love to join as a player. A one shot, I don't care. A short, guest spot where I come into somebody's campaign for 4 or 5 episodes just to get a feel for something. I'm happy to consider all possibilities in either the Pathfinder or the Starfinder worlds. I know nothing. So you could treat me like a young child with a very impressionable mind right now, and some of you might abuse that. Um, it's okay. I'm okay to be abused. Um, I'd love more information. Point me in the right direction. So, we got to the end. If you got in here and you want to join me on this journey as I continue to explore more about this and get deeper into the Paizo Pathfinder Starfinder universe, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, check out all the links below. You can support with a super thanks. You can also do so as a membership option. There's 3 different tiers. We have our Patreon page for our tabletop world, our point and click adventure game, and our book series. And of course, our Discord channel. So, hopefully, we'll see you somewhere else. And I look forward to hearing everybody's answers in the comments below so that I can get a good direction of where to go from here. And maybe find somebody who wants to do some tabletop gaming this spring. Love to hear from you. Till next time, everybody, stay safe.